tonight. Emotional suicide. You know it's an eye for eye. I didn't wanna walk the plank. But the Mariona, it came like the thunder. I was on my way to going under. Swimming in the pain, yeah, I was covered in a tidal wave, But I'm a fighter. Try to take me down, I'm going higher. Baby, you've been playing with some fire. You've been playing with fire.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, tanks, healers, and damage dealers. My name is the Peach of the Day. Here I'm joined by Davian. How are you doing, Davian?
It is 7 a.m. Nah, I'm good. Let's do it. I got the energy, man. I'm hype. It's storm
Yeah, me
playoffs,
too.
brackets. Ah,
Yeah. Yeah, we're here hitting you with the semifinals of the Pride Cup 2023. We just skipped out last year due to not enough players signing up, but we're back this year and we're getting closer and closer to the end of the tournament. Today, we're going to be seeing LGBTQ times going up against Lunar, Colony, and Joyers. Why don't you tell us a bit about these two teams and some of their history?
I am very excited. So these actually were two teams that I got to cast both this past weekend. Lunar Colony was actually on my first cast, so we got to see Super Pop Off, Big Tuna, some fun teams over there, including Joshua, Vertigo, and COWZA. I think they had a sub in for Joshua. I do not remember that person being on the team, but it was really fun to watch them play. They had a great rush comp. I think they can pull out those types of things again. But we'll kind of see how it goes because you never know with bracket play. You could be switching up your play style based off of what your opponent is playing because you can kind of prepare because you've seen what they can do. And we've definitely seen a lot of LGBTQ times. We've seen them reverse sweep already this bracket play itself. Or I'm sorry, not bracket play, but pool play. And you have Risen, Lime, Blur, P5, and Jinxie, just a very quality team out there. Lime and Jinxie get the big support, just air assaultness of Farah, Echo, Mercy just popping off. Risen, I had the fun. He is risen to the occasion cast part and just popped off, saved an entire map off of just 4 kills. I've seen crazy stuff from this team. So I expect a very, very fun matchup. A little bit of mixed comfort when it comes to the team comps that they want to play. So we'll see how they adjust and how it actually matters for this game.
Indeed, yes, I absolutely agree with you there. And we have to take a closer look here at the teams. As you mentioned earlier, the LGBTQ times, we've got Risen and Lima Ross as the damage dealers. We've got Blur on the tank, the Winton. We've got P5001 and Jinxie running up the back of the support line. And yeah, like you said, we've seen a lot of aerial assault from them. We've seen Blur going in pretty strong with the Winston as well, while being backed by some really good supports. And Risen and Lamaros are just able to deal in such good, consistent damage. But if we have a look at their opponents right now, Lunar Colony and Joyers, the first team that you casted last weekend, we've got Big Tuna and Joshua on the DPS line. Joshua is a new face. I believe they're subbing in for somebody whose name that I do not remember. For Shadow, we've got Super BH on the tank. Makes sense. The Chad BH, as chat always calls him, bringing out that energy the Ramattra plays. And then we've got the support line backed by Vertigo and COWZA, both really good at what they play. We're looking like we've got all the players in the lobby now. We don't know exactly what map we're going to go to yet, but to run you through the map pool for this weekend, unlike last week, we've got a map pool. The choices for the teams are Busan, Oasis, and Nepal. So what do you think about the specific choice of maps that they have here?
Well, the map pool is really cool. It's definitely a variety from what we've already played. And I totally forgot that I need to open Overwatch in order to watch the game because as a person in the US myself, it is very difficult to try to watch Overwatch on Discord while with South Africa time zone. It's very difficult. So my dumb self did not do that. And learning I have an update is even crazier. So the the maps are really cool though. Busan, Oasis, Nepal to start it off. I think they're a really good map pool. For our controls, hybrids, everyone loves Kings Row, everyone loves Eichenwald, everyone loves Hollywood. Those are good maps in my humble opinion, even though Hollywood has that dumb choke. But you never know with the dive comps and how they want to do it. Dorado, Jibby, and Circuit. Everyone has been really favoring Circuit Royale lately in this game, I've noticed. So it's very interesting to see how that's going to work out. And if we end up having to go to
game as well.
Sorry, it's been favorable, and I've seen an Owl. Everyone, you have option of like 17 maps, and you're like, hey, we're gonna pick Circuit, so let's do it. Or World Cup 2, you have variety, and you're like, let's go Circuit. It's been Circuit and Numbani have been the two that everybody's been picking, so it's very interesting. And then we have Esperanza, Coliseo, and New Queen Street for push. That's all we got, so that's all we're gonna get. So if it comes to it, we'll see how it goes out, and then of course, whatever wasn't picked at the beginning, we'll head back to Control once again.
Indeed, yes. And as you say, we're heading back to Control. We do have confirmation that the teams have picked Nepal first. I believe Lunar Colony and Joyers got to pick the map. Yes, they did. So we're going to Nepal first. We're going to see which map that we get sent to. All 3 Nepal maps are pretty well known for being versatile with whatever comps you can play. You can play your rush style comps, you can play your dive style comps, you can play your spam style comps, either on their individual maps as well as on all three maps in general. Some might work a little bit better than others, but I feel like this is going to be a really good showing of talent here from the two teams. Davian, what do you think?
It's gonna be interesting. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna get on Nepal because again, I think this map doesn't necessarily favor dive too much. So we've seen different things from Blur and different things from that team on LGBTQ times that require them to play dive, like the ball, the monkey, but they've made it work on maps that just don't make sense. So we'll see how it works out. I think this map is gonna favor Lunar Colony, but again, who knows? It's a wild map, so it's gonna be a good time. Nepal is gonna be a blast. I love this map too, so it's gonna be a very fun map.
Indeed, here and here we're getting into the game quickly. We've don't really know exactly what we're going to do. Let's have a look. We are going to, I believe this is Sanctum first here.
Yes.
With the LGBTQ times on the right hand side of your screen and the Lunar Colony enjoyers on the left hand side here. The game's now getting underway. So while we wait for what they're going to pick, let's just do a nice fly roundabout of the map, see what we're going to be going. Sanctum is quite well known for being quite versatile. We've seen a lot of spammy comps on it. You have seen some dive, but as we saw in our game earlier today, we also saw the Ramacha and the Junker Queen comps. So what do you think that interaction is going to be like here?
It's interesting, right? So I don't know if we're getting a pause already or something's happening in the game before everything starts. But it's like, if these are the comps that we're looking at already, just from what I'm staring at, in Sanctum, this is going to be interesting. I did not expect to see a Sigma come out.
Yeah, the Sigma is a bit of a curious one, especially considering we also see the Kiriko paired up with it. So maybe it's not the final version of the comp. But what does look a little bit more final is the comp over on the side of LGBTQ times. We see the more rush variant of dive with Blur on the Winston. We see Jinxie and P5001 on the Moro Lucius, meaning that they want to be a bit more frontline, don't really give them the chance to get flanked on. And then we see Risen on the Reaper, so they can do a little bit of tank busting power right there. But then there's a little bit of an outlier pick here with Limeros on the Echo. Now, usually you would find that slot filled with something like, maybe a Sombra or a Tracer. But the aerial pressure that an Echo can bring is a little bit versatile. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think this is actually a good comp, right? So the reason I say that is, first off, Jinxie not being on Mercy is interesting. I don't think I've seen them not play Mercy so far this tournament. So there's that to work with. Outside of obviously a little bit of stall, but Lime, I think it's comfort, right? At the end of the day, we're here to win games, right? That's your goal right now. You're in bracket play, you want to win. This is one of those games where it's like, you got to just play what you're good at. So let's go in there and try to win. And Lime is really good at Echo. We've seen it already multiple times in the tournament alone. So I could definitely see why it's a comfort pick, and it still works out because Echo, unlike Tracer, you get more of that. You can have more escapability with the air. If someone based off the matchup you're already seeing, they don't have a hit scan, right? So they're not going to be able to tag too crazy. So we'll see how it goes. But I do like Echo's a great pick. I think it's going to work out really well with the team and what they want to run. And we'll see how it works out.
No worries. I think that's a good idea from you there. The personal preference picks often tend to be a lot stronger sometimes than what the meta variant picks are. So I think it's going to be quite unique style that we're going to see in this comp here. But also in the chat while we're waiting for Risen to reconnect the lobby, we see Tuna with a little bit of BM here saying that they need to focus Blur. And with
No bullying, Jinxie.
Yeah, no bullying here. But yeah, like I said, we are waiting on Risen to rejoin the lobby. We don't know the exact nature of why he's left, other than the fact that he's a Papega. So Risen, if you're listening to this, you are a Papega, according to Blur. So let's hope we can get this game moving on underway shortly. But yeah,
should be fine. I see we get a nice little fan base in there. We get the all caps. Is that a Peach Cast hype? Oh,
is that a Peach Cast?
Look at that. Yes, two of them? It is a Peach Cast. Look at that. They're ready for you in chat. They're excited to have you on the call.
No one ever expects the Peach Cast. I think it's been roughly around about a year or a year and a half since I've actually been live on camera. So Hi to everybody out there. Yes, it is me. Your ears are not mistaking you. Your eyes are not mistaking you. And I'm for those that are only tuning in now, I'm joined by Davian, our new and favorite United States caster.
Apparently, I didn't know I was going to become a fan favorite overnight, man. I was
Oh,
very happy to be here though. It's been a blast. I wanted to get a little bit more experience in casting. I saw you guys wanted some help, and I was like, you know what? Let's throw the name in the hat. And it was like, boom. I felt like it made a quick impression. Slapped the easy button down. I was like, well, that was easy, and I was like, let's do it.
Indeed, it was easy, and I mean, look, we really do love you. The more, the merrier. Even though we're a primarily South African community, it doesn't mean that we're only limiting ourselves to South African. If we can have international players, why can't we have international talent? And you, sir, are bringing the exact hype, the exact level of just raw that we want, the hoorah. We've been having a great time, and I mean, looking at what you did last weekend, I think we can all agree that we're really excited to see what you can bring forth on the table, and not only for us to just listen and be amazed by how good you are, but also just to learn a little bit more about, learn a bit more from outside of our country, because often we get a little bit boxed up with our own scene that we forget that there's other stuff that happens out there as well.
Well, it's the same over here, right? I mean, here in the US, I mean, I learned what load shedding was just by entering in your guys' Discord. Like, I was like, what? Like, I was going through the times. I was like, what the heck's load shedding? I don't know what to check here. What am I doing? Like, I was like trying to figure out stuff. I was looking at time zones. I was like comparing. I was like, I'm trying to figure out stuff. I want to help. I want to be here, but I don't know what these mean. I asked like 4 questions in chat, like off rip, but I'm like, these guys are gonna think I'm stupid. Like,
For anybody in chat that is also non-South African, let me just quickly run you down what load shedding is so that you can get some context to the situation while we're waiting for Risen to join. Load shedding is basically just the country saying, yeah, we can't generate enough electricity to sustain everybody in the country, so we're gonna systematically shut down certain areas for up to about 2 to 4 hours a day. Per slot, and then maybe like 2 to 3 times a day, depending on how severe it is, or in other words, what stage of load shedding we are on. So this weekend has been pretty forgiving with load shedding, although I know later on we're not going to be able to have our third game casted due to it, so that's unfortunate. But as we're talking about load shedding here, Risen has rejoined the game, so let's hope that whatever his paganism has gone away and that we're going to be ready to go again.
yeah, I'm very excited to get this game underway. I loved casting LGBTQ times last weekend, and Lunar Colony was a blast too. So I'm really excited to do it again. But you know, I also want to be very thankful to the people. I throw the link in my group chat and like some of my friends' Discords. Like, hey guys, I'm on cast if you guys want to hang out. And I've had a lot of people come through, so I really appreciate everyone that does come out and support me, either if you're NA or here in South Africa. I really appreciate you guys, and you guys are really awesome. And Twitter, even, you guys have been really nice to me. So I'm really excited to get this going. But it does look like we're locking in the Sigma, man. I love me some good Sigma gameplay. Oh, it's Queen. Gosh, dang it. I like Queen too, but I was ready for Sig. But we're underway.
Sig would have been a great pick there, but I think the Queen is going to do really well here with the Mei and the Reaper front line. You've got a lot of pressure that they can put onto Blur here, like Tuna said at the beginning of the game, to focus the tanks. But yeah, looks like our first fight is underway, and I'll let you take it away here, Davian.
Yeah, Blur was no shy man there. He jumps on in, looking very curious. And Super finds Blur instead. Forget it. No aggression, but Jinxie finds Super, so the tanks have been exchanged. It's a Reaper on Reaper crime. Tuna finds Risen. Tuna finds a second in Jinxie. Looks like Lunar Colony is going to win the first fight. The Mei Reaper rush is looking pretty good here. I like it. No Lucio, no problem. The Kiriko makes up for it in that healing and already at 50% on the ult charge for him.
Indeed, it's a pretty strong ultimate to have generated so fast as well. And it looks like the general plan of just rush down Blur with your Mei Junker Queen and smaller Junker Queen, aka the Reaper, is learning good here as the dive engaged into the team. Wow.
Very quickly, the wall was very well done, but it wasn't enough. Big Tuna goes down, but Super finds Jinxie still again. They're contesting different targets here. Mei is in the room by themselves. They finally find the cryo, but it's not looking good for Mei here. Mei finds wall, locks up Lime, but Risen finds Josh. it's over for him. It's not even a chance being soloed there. 3-on-4. We're going to use a copy already. Blur gets slept midway for the fight. Super fights P5 now too. Moira is back in the fight. Jinxie's here. Big Tuna has come back as well. Jinxie's low. Racketing pops off. Super is finding everything he wants. He doesn't matter. That's 2 more with the knife. It's over. The fight is ended. Just not enough. The big picks were there, but they just couldn't do anything with it. And we get a quick switch over to Reinhardt for Blur.
Indeed, the Reinhardt here is going to be a little bit better into the Junker Queen. You know, he's got a little bit more health pool to sustain. And they also have the Reaper Blossom and Lucio Beat coming up here. So the Lucio Beat can potentially stop. Oh, okay.
They pop it. 3 for Risen. He just hit the Q button, win the game. Nothing else pops up. Kitsune was used, though. They wanted a quick fight with Kit, but it didn't work out. And Josh goes down on the stagger. Team kill there for the M. And finally a fight win for the LGBTQ times.
Indeed, yeah. These team fights are starting and stopping so quickly. I don't even get a chance to fully analyze them here.
I'm saying.
We see the Lunar Colony and Joy's already pushing in.
But Risen finds it.
Straight away.
Yeah, it's a nano on Super. The Junker Queen is very good with nano, but Jinxie gets 2 with Coalescence. Great play from Jinxie in the backline. Down goes Super to Blur, and is getting a little bit of revenge there. Wall off to try to not push anything else. It's looking weird. I mean, they got both DPS ults online now for Lunar Colony. They're pushing in, though. They want more. Shatter pops up. Slept, though. Big Tuna finds 4. Super finds the 5th. That's a team kill.
Tuna coming in here with the big duff, as Blur calls it in the match chat. Just a couple of Q buttons going through there. Blur tried to hit the huge shadow, but Tuna just said no, absolutely not.
And a quick pickoff. We're going to get beat and freeze out, but Lime gets COWZA very quickly. Josh just finds P5, though. Big Tuna finds Lime, but it's still a 3v4, so this battle isn't all but over yet. Queen is going to go down. Now it's a 3v3. I will say Vertigo is hitting every sleep dart known to man. Blur is not having a fun time napping every day, but it's going to get taken out. 90% on the point and counting. They're sitting in the little cubby there. Both DPS, they're going to pop out to try to contest here, but it's not going to be enough. Big Tuna is there, but Blur is going to, Riz is going to get Kasuda. Big Tuna is going to go down to Lime, and May is just sitting in there. Is going to escape with the wall out the back. Gets away. No, Blur finds Josh, though. It doesn't get out. Big stagger for them.
Let's see how aggressive they're going to get here. Blur's already picking up the kills in their Swarm. But we saw what happened last time there. Tuna just pressed the Q button and they instantly lost the point. They can't afford to give up the point here because they're very vulnerable to losing this sub map if they do. But we do see Super BH's Rampage coming here online. That could be a potential fight changer. However, the Risen Blossom as well as Limeros's. There we go. Here we go. We're
going
in.
to pop it. There's the Reaper. Oh, it's slipped! Big slip! Vertigo just popping off. Super finds 1. Big Tuna finds another. Jinxie and P5 exchange. And Lime on the copied Reaper finds 3. Team kill. 88 and 90% and counting. I don't know if they're going to be able to touch here. Lime with the biggest copy ult I've ever seen. Super and Vertigo swapping over to stall. Big Tuna's getting hit. Forces out the fade. It can't get there. They get there. Super finds it. Shatter pops off. Big Tuna goes down. And it's looking like Risen's going to find another one. No, but the May ult on point. They used all their ults there. There are going to be a lot of freezes. Oh, and off the map goes P5 after being frozen. Super goes down. Josh finds Blur. It's a 3v2 on point. There goes the Lucio walling them to stay safe and stagger. Jinxie finds Josh. And what a turnaround for LGBTQ times there.
My goodness, that fight came out of nowhere. But let's be real here. The double Blossom on the side of LGBTQ times completely turned that fight around at the end there, giving them the ability to capture the point. You know, nothing else needed. The Blossom, the Blizzard came out to try and stall off that point, but they just couldn't keep it alive going. But now we're going on to Village. I think this is Village, and we see the Super BH switching onto the Ramacha here, which is definitely a different pick. We've seen the Chad BH on the Ramacha here, and we know how scary it can be. Going up into Blur's Reinhardt, though, we're gonna have to see. Blur does have a lot of sustain here with the Moira Lucio, but this could really go anywhere.
But I mean, Kiriko Bap on the other end is no slouch.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we see the two teams meeting in the middle, getting ready to start off the first fight. Take us away, Davian.
Yeah, so it looks like Lunar Colony is going to get there a little slower, but they're still going to get the kill after hacking Blur. It was a little slower because they have no Lucio, but it's looking rough. Super's going to body up Jinxie. Risen's low, fades out, maybe not getting out of there with a life. Will not. The it's not looking good already. First fight is going to be won by Lunar Colony Enjoyers. We're just capturing point now.
Indeed, the Chad VH really showing up here, slowing down the engage of LGBTQ times, making it very difficult for them to just put on their pressure while also maintaining their own pressure onto the team in red here. Now we see LGBTQ times pathing through mid, using their speed boost to go to the backs of the point right before the next fight unfolds. Davian, let's go.
We're going in. I mean, look, they've already used their immortality field. They're getting pocketed a little bit from each side. Big Tuna is staggered there, but Super goes down. I just didn't see his LHP bar. Blur is fighting a second. Big Tuna does find Jinxie out of all this, but Lime's going to find Big Tuna. Kazuda, Blur got 3 that fight. They're going to capture points, trade it out in the middle of the fight very quickly. I'm unsure why we just gave up points so quickly there.
Indeed, I mean, it was a bit shocking to see that the Lunar Colony Enjoyers didn't go and try and contest the point sooner, but I must say the rotation from LGBTQ times going around the backup point, minimizing the amount of poke they can take and also funneling all of their damage through a single point made the difference there for them, especially as the Reinhardt made it a bit more difficult for the Lunar Colony Enjoyers to engage by using their abilities before. But it looks like they're gearing up for the next EMP.
EMP finds every single player on the opposite team. Lime is going to copy though. Big Tuna finds it ult. 2 down. They're looking to copy now. Shatter comes out. It's a big one. Jinxie finds 2. Blur finds it. Lime uses ult after the copy and finds another. And they lost point, but they're going to recapture it very quickly. They were down 2 and they turned the fight around with 3 ultimates. It was huge way to counter EMP. They used so many things on the side of Lunar Colony, and it just wasn't enough. And they're gonna find Sombra, but they're not gonna get it.
Indeed, they used 5 ultimates that fight alone, be the 2 blossoms, the EMP, and the shatter. Here we go with the grape juice.
Suffering. Annihilation is out. Risen fights 2 with the Death Blossom. It's looking so crazy. Risen finds a 3rd. Lime finds a 1. Kazuda does get Blur out of all this, but Kazuda's not going to live to tell the tale. Josh finds end of their life as Sombra. It's just, when I think they're out, someone plays the hero.
Someone plays the hero indeed, and we saw the Annihilation coming in there, and we thought it would have been able to get a lot more knowing how tanky Ramattra can get when he's in Nemesis form, but he just melted away. Here comes the wall now, the Amplification Matrix, to force the LGBTQ times back into point. Let's see how this fight goes from here.
Yep, they're going to use the Kiriko ult as well. They're going to beat to match it. They're looking for something here. We don't have very many ults here. It's looking rough. Super and Vertigo both go down. The neutral is easily won out here from the LGBTQ times, and they can't touch point. That's a wrap.
They can't touch. That is indeed a wrap. We saw, I'm not sure if we can call that a little bit of a C9. If it was, then C9. But at the end of the day, it was a very, very close call there at the end. But LGBTQ times just managed to take it out on top there. But really, they were ending the fight just before it started. Here we see Jinxie's Coalescence. Absolutely insane here. Hitting like 4 people in the shatter. Absolutely nutty.
Oh, what a clutch, man. It was so crazy. It felt like whenever LGBTQ times was out of a fight, someone played hero. It was Lime. It was Jinxie. It was Blur. Everyone had their time to shine and made a play, but I really, really want to sit here and highlight Vertigo. The reason they were winning so many fights in those first few maps, Blur was snoozing. The alarm was going off and just kept hitting the snooze button. It was crazy. Vertigo was hitting every sleep dart. And on the last fight on Sanctum, Vertigo hit the sleep dart on Risen on the Blossom, saves the team just to be hit with another Blossom off a copy to lose the fight. It was insane. Great fighting over there.
It was a very close call there, but I honestly think that the ultimate rotations coming out from the 2 teams here were very good, albeit it sometimes felt like they used a lot of ultimates. They did rotate it quite efficiently, so very good props to the 2 teams there. However, we're moving on to the second map, and what is the best than going to South Africa's favorite, I'm sure almost the entire world's favorite, Kings Row.
It's a fan favorite. It's a fan favorite. As a Reinhardt player myself, it's Scrimsrow, man. How can you not be excited for this map? And I think Lunar Colony gets the map pick. They did lose the map, so it makes way too much sense to head on over. They're really, really good at this rush comp. They like the Mei, they like the Reaper, they like their Queen, they like their Ramattra. I think this fits them. I do wish I could see a Lucio out of them because that would make their lives 10 times easier. But we kind of have to see what they go with here. But I will say I'm very excited to see what they pull out.
I absolutely agree with you here. I mean, like you said, it's a fan favorite, especially for rush style comps. However, I've got a sneaky suspicion we might not see Rush. I don't know. Sometimes there's always that like subversion to expectation. Everyone thinks you're gonna go Rush, and it's like, oh, the honorable Ryan 1v1. I can foresee some sneaky stuff happening. I can foresee some dive or some weird shenanigans going up about here. We're just waiting for I think our producer to ready us up. There we go. Yeah, I think we were having a little bit of lag on the stream end, so apologies for that. But hopefully everything is fixed now. As we head into King's Row with which team on which side? Hold on, I haven't actually looked yet. We see Lunar Colony still on the blue side and LGBTQ Times still sitting on the red side. So let's see how these two teams interact going on to King's Row. 1-0 down in favor of LGBTQ Times.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very exciting to see exactly what they decide to bring out. I fully expect to see exactly the same things we just saw in Nepal, right? The rushes, the ram. I still wish Lunar Colony would, but I need them to bust out that the Lucio. I think if they can play Lucio into this, their days are going to be, it's just going to be so much easier to win some fights, because I think one of the biggest things that they were lacking was P5 was playing phenomenal, right? Having a great time on Lucio, but we'll see how it comes out. And I guess I'm still getting my wish just on the wrong map.
I called it. I told you. Usually we see the honorable Ryan 1v1s here on this map, but today we're going to be seeing both teams doing something a little bit of subversion to our expectations. We're going to be seeing the Lunar Colony Enjoys here with the Sigma, Bastion, Ash, Zenyatta, and Baptiste, meaning that they're going to be pumping out a lot of damage, and not just AoE damage, but also just direct spam in a straight line here. But LGBTQ Times trying to counteract this with a dive. Of course, they don't know what they're going into yet, and I can easily foresee them switching their comp in just a moment, because Blur is not going to have a fun time into that Bastion. So let's see as they come out of the doors here.
I like the comps from both teams. I think this fits what they look like they want to play, but I wish that Lunar Colony would be holding this high ground here and make their life so much easier with the comp they're playing. It's just so much better, but Blur is going to just evaporate. It's gone. Lime is also just going to go down. Just not enough healing can save you from Big Tuna.
Absolutely, just a rock to the face ends Blur's career right there, right before he jumps. However, I do agree with you here. The fact that nobody is sitting on the high ground, not even the Ash or the Baptiste, really does put them into a little bit of a tricky position here. Blur coming out with the ball now is going to make it a lot easier.
Yeah, the Zen and Ash too.
Put a lot more pressure. So we see Blur running through the point as the fight starts.
They get a lot of damage on the way in, but, you know, that E button is just super nice. Big slam in from Blur, trying to make some space here. Blur is super low, but P5 finds Vertigo on the trade. COWZA does find Lime, but that's better for... Oh, they get two. They get the res off. Risen finds one. Jinxie does go down after beating the res off. Risen finds COWZA, and I think they can get the map fight win here.
Indeed, I mean, we see it 2v2 at the moment still, with reinforcements coming in from both sides. So if Super BH here can hold down the line, we can see both teams recontest this before the point flips in any direction. Not even a single tick goes either way. Risen does take control of the high ground here, which does put him in a little bit of a better position here comparatively to the Lunar Colony Enjoys. But we see Blow getting ready for a slam as the fight begins.
Yeah, Vertigo got spawn camped by Blur there. Getting taken out. Risen finds COWZA. Blur goes down, but I don't think that's a big of a deal. But we're seeing a big ult come out. Big Tuna finds one. Slam is down. Lime is going to go down, and it's just too much. It's too much damage. It's just too much. We're trying to find something. Oh, what a rock from Super to end that fight on Risen. Whew. I love me some good Sigma gameplay.
The Sigma indeed is popping over here and denying the complete entry onto point, stopping anybody getting in his way, holding down his ground, saying, this is my square, you are not allowed to enter the square here. We do see the Valkyrie coming online here, a very good engage tool, as well as more ultimates coming up from the side of the LGBTQ Times now. However, Lunar Colony are slightly being backed into a corner here. Oh, okay, that kind of nullifies the engagement opportunity here from the LGBTQ Times.
Yeah, they were looking like they were going to engage pretty easily there, but it just wasn't enough. Josh gets real low, I think down to like 2 HP. It was very, very close there, but gets healed up instantly by the team. But I've seen the trades from P5 and Vertigo have been my favorite parts of this fight so far. On the Zens, there's the slam in. We're gonna get a copy onto an Ash. We're gonna see 2 Ashes. Vertigo is gonna use ult, fixing the whole team. Both support ults popped on the side of Lunar Colony. They're gonna pop DPS ults as well, though. It's looking like we're potentially seeing a second Bob, but Lime just can't find shots to make use of the copy. We're gonna see mortars come out. Bob is gonna come out now. and it's looking like he's going to contest. Super is absorbing every ounce of bullets Bob wants to shoot out. Josh does find Blur. Risen finds Big Tuna there. They're looking like they're getting some point progress here. Vertigo gets Bob out of the picture. They get a take out of this. Josh finds P5. They're going to get the res off on Blur. Super gets Lime. They're going to still get 41% on the point after all that. But it doesn't look like enough because Super's going to find a second. Risen does find Kazuda out of all this, though. Looking like they want to get a couple people out of the picture. They potentially could still win this fight with reinforcements if they're quick enough. Not when Josh is hitting shots like that. Risen goes down. Blur's in the back line. Does go down to Vertigo. Xenor, man. Discord is not fun.
Discord is a very strong ability, and we're seeing it here, being able to whittle down both Blur enough so that he can't sustain himself in the fights anymore. But we do see the Genji switch from Limeros here.
And a Sig.
Yeah.
Some very late switches here.
The Sig as well, but yeah, as you said, they're very late. However, both teams did kind of expend every ult except for P5001's Transcendency. Let's see him probably use it aggressively here as we go into the point and the fight begins.
Yeah, they're gonna use it right now. Lime does find Vertigo out of all that. There's the it's a huge Sig ult slams. It kills two. It's so big. Big Tuna finds Blur. Nothing they can do. Nothing can happen. Jinxie goes to stall but won't get there in time. Super. What'd we say at the beginning? Chad BH? He's just, he is asserting dominance in this game. And I don't want to take anything away from the fact that Vertigo, I have been highlighting Vertigo this whole map. The sleeps were insane. The Discord orbs were huge. Everybody, every target that was put a Discord on was melted. And you saw it. It was just great gameplay.
Absolutely. The pure focus coming out from the Lunar Colony enjoys here makes it so difficult for the LGBTQ times to actually take presence on the point. And it meant that Blur's engagements had to be a lot shorter because he couldn't sustain himself on the point. It also meant that there was more space for Joshua on the Ashe to get a lot of area damage in. And because there was such a short engagement period, they didn't really have the tools required to take the first point. It may not have been a full hold, but we definitely did see the struggling of LGBTQ time taking the point. However, we do see them coming out on the brawl. They're saying, no, screw this, no more shenanigans from our side. We're going to brawl this all the way into your spawn, knowing Blur, he probably want to touch their spawn. However, the Lunar Colonies are coming out with some dive bastion? Question mark? I guess we're going to see how this unfolds as 10 seconds left until spawn doors close. LGBTQ times are going into the hotel.
They're playing in the hotel.
Or the cinema, I think actually it's called.
Or yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct. My bad. Bad. Hotel's on the other side.
No, that's fine. They're walking back. They got spotted out. They're going into behind the high ground there. Kind of just waiting. Nothing is happening yet. Super BH is a bit suspicious of where everybody is.
They're getting point for free. They're just gonna pin in. Gets rocked immediately. Blur does. Is hit with immediate Discord orb, but doesn't die. Vertigo actually gets taken out. Big Tuna finds Risen out of all this. The Sim is a great pick to try to break this down. Jinxie's gonna find one. Blur is gonna go down. It's just gonna be required Sim and a Dream here is what I expect this to go down to. Sim is trying to melt some things down. Does find Super. They're looking for Bastion next. Bastion does go down, but there's an Ashe still available for them, but it's not gonna be enough. Josh is gonna be contested and taken out. Vertigo's alive now. Both supports back on the side of Lunar Colony, but it's not enough. Their team's backed.
That was a very explosive start, basically inverting the point, so it made it look like LGBTQ times was attacking it from the angle they took it in, putting the Colony Enjoyers into a kind of backpedaled position here. Blur still taking his close approach to the gate as the next fight already begins.
Yeah, we're seeing Junker Queen come out for them. Big Tuna finds Jinxie, Big Tuna finds Blur, and I think that's it. Big Tuna finds 3.
Oh my goodness.
That might just be it. That just might be a wrap. Unless your Sim is gonna do everything under the sun, it's not enough. Super hit the knife on it. This looks like it's a wrap. Risen is going to go down. Tick 1, and that is the game on King's Row.
Lunar Colony taking King's Row with a very swift play, if I can call it that. We did see the adjustment from Super BH there at the end, switching from the Sigma onto the Junker Queen, which really gave him the pressure to just walk through the brawl comp coming from the side of Lunar Colony Enjoys. The slam, though, was absolutely massive.
It was insane. It was insane. Super definitely looking like an MVP of that map. But again, Zen is just a fun character. Discord Orb makes it so that you don't get to have a good day. But every rock I felt like was landed. It was just a phenomenal gameplay for Super. To give it a 1-1, I mean, this is what we expect, right? Good games, a great match. It's bracket play. You know exactly what's going down. And we're going to get a third map. And I believe we're going to go to Escort next.
Yes, we are going to escort next, and I mean we do because we're in the semifinals. We are seeing some of the stronger teams going up against each other, or at least the theoretically stronger teams. And this is displayed excellently. Super BH and Blow, two very strong tanks going head to head. However, Super BH just getting that little inkling a little bit further, landing all of his rocks with the support as well. Vertigo absolutely crushing it on the support role there, whether it be the sleep darts, whether it be the Zen Discord orbs, and really just holding it together as that glue. Even though Super BH can sometimes be a bit aggressive, as we have seen in our past games, we do know that he can still sustain it through with the help of his team.
Big Tuna has been on like kind of the carry heroes so far, based off of their comps that they're playing. The Bastion, been playing on the played Reaper. It's very, very fun. It's been great pop-off plays. And I think again, what I've seen hero plays from both sides. Obviously not too many opportunities to go hero plays as we didn't get out of first point on Kings Row, but it looks like we're heading to Jibby, which definitely favors LGBTQ times.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That's great. LGBTQ times favors a lot what they like to play with the Echo, Mercy, Winston. Definitely a better map for them on Gibraltar.
Indeed. I mean, Dive is a super potent map on Gibraltar, especially since it got changed as well. They haven't, like, even though the map got changed itself, it doesn't really attest to how strong Brawl is, not Brawl, how strong Dive is on this map, and that really does play into LGBTQ times favor, like you said. Also, I'm sorry that I caught you so off guard with my iCarly references, the Gibby.
Oh, it's all good. I get it. I'm not even mad about it. I respect it even. So, maps 1-1, we're guaranteed getting a push map now, so we're in for the long haul. Maybe a 5-map banger to start my day off. I'm excited about it.
Absolutely.
We got Babs in chat saying Peach looking so good. I have to agree with you. Did the Blazer? It's just looking saucy. But this is rework Jibby. I don't know if anybody has played it yet. I certainly haven't touched the game since then. But since this game's been reworked. But that spawn door sitting in the back, no longer on that right side. Just a lot more actual good things happened on the Gibraltar rework, and I like it a lot. I like that the Overwatch team did some things to make it happen on that third point. So we'll see how this game plays out, and this is exactly what I expected to see from both teams.
Indeed, yeah.
Maybe not the Queen, but
yeah, the Queen is a bit of a weird pick. Maybe it's Super BH going a little bit on the personal preference route there. Maybe not the biggest fan of Dive, but the long range heals from P5001 on the side of the LGBTQ times here does actually make a lot of sense. Bloke can get in and out of his engagements very quickly. However, something that does kind of surprise me is the Symmetra. Is that maybe just a spawn pick?
I think it's definitely a teleport pick. I think what they're going to want to do is, so I've seen this a lot in this game, that high ground there that they're going to want to TP out of to the opposite high ground so that their Ana is in a great position, right? So that's probably what they're going to end up doing, and then they're going to immediately switch over to Echo. That's my guess.
That is
except for P5 took the wrong spawn door.
Nicely done, P5. Oh, and we see the Genji. We don't see the
Genji
Echo
instead.
That was close. So Blur already taking his first dive here. Take us away, Davian.
Yeah, Blur is going to go over a little bit of a minor engage, takes a lot of damage in the process from Big Tuna, but is going to get out with the life. But Risen finds a head tap onto Josh. Oh. That's not looking good. Vertigo gets tapped too. Big dive. Tuna's not looking good here. Goes up to meet a Winston. I don't think you should be doing that. Sleep Dart goes off, does hit Lime. Vertigo. No, it wasn't Vertigo. It's not COWZA. It's COWZA now. They are swapping the Ana players, and even then it's still the same. Lime is going absolutely nuclear on the Genji. What a great pick. This is not the United States World Cup team. It's not super. It's not super. This is good. This is great Genji gameplay here.
Indeed, yeah. I don't even think we're going to have enough time to take off this analysis here because the fight looks like it's already starting with Blur taking the engagement onto the high ground to gain control here over the soldier, making him run away and taking the fight really into the shape here of LGBTQ times.
I said it once, I'm going to say it again. Risen has risen. Two big head taps. Super finds Lime. And it might maybe stall some things out, but I don't think it's enough. The Brez gets off. Very aggressive from Jinxie. Does take the life for it, but gets it Lime. But Lime finds pick out COWZA. They're just moving the point. Super does find Lime a second time. COWZA does get rezzed here. Blur's trying to engage onto the high ground to help out and give this team some sort of space, but it's looking like it's over. I'm hopeful this Ana gets out. I don't know if P5 is going to get out with their life. They will. Okay. It was
They will.
close.
That's very good. Yeah. I mean, that was such a strong opening here from the LGBTQ times. We just saw how much space they took already without that cart stopping once. Now as they're starting to box in, the Lunar Colonies is the first pick, goes on the way from
Risen
from
again!
Risen. Risen actually popping off
again!
in this map.
Yeah, I will say though, that was definitely courtesy of Lime getting that pick there. But Bob comes out. Winston is going an ape, as the kids say. 2 kills from Big Blur.
Oh.
Big Tuna finds another with the Bob, but Josh, they're contesting though. Bob's gonna come out on the side of LGBTQ times. Super's looking low, but Super's gonna get a pick still. Josh finds another one. Bob is just there, but Bob finds Josh. Josh while carrying though. Super's available. Super's on point. Does get healed. Okay, we're good. The big mega got him. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what to. It's hero plays. Every single time something happens, it's a hero play coming out from someone else. Big Tuna's over on Bastion's back.
Bastion's back indeed. Super BH already taking a bit of an aggressive approach here, like I was mentioning earlier, but the Valkyrie coming in to just keep him out. Lunar trying to engage onto the Mercy. The Rampage coming in here gets one, the honor down. That's going to put LGBTQ tons on the back foot here as the fight already kind of ends in a way. And I feel like we've already switched our roles here, Davian, but let me throw it back to you again one last time.
It's okay. I mean, sometimes with how these games work out, it just ends up happening, man. Lime does find the end of his life as well. It's looking rough, man. It's looking rough. It's a weird engage, right? So they're getting in, they're making good plays, getting picks, but Super, COWZA, Vertigo, we've seen so many people have great just pop off moments. Like I said, hero plays on this first point. They're gonna get the high ground again for Blur. They're gonna nano blade. They can't find anything. Super finds P5 in the back. Lime finds Josh. Looking for a second. Does get Vertigo. Jinxie's super low here. Super's going to find the second. They're just trading out some backlines here. Blur's so low. COWZA with the big sleep. Into it. Super finds Risen. And COWZA lives through that. Lives through a Genji Winston engage. It's rough. It's rough. Lime is still alive there in the back line. Does find it. Found two. They're going to chase. Lime's exposed. Lime's exposed. Does get out though with their life. Big Tuna.
No, she doesn't.
Big Tuna. The res is gonna come off. Are they gonna have a touch here? They have a diva, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to touch. Yes. Okay. Risen is on the payload, touching, forcing overtime. Super finds P5 again. Is in the back line. Super is just playing again. It's just Chad BH gameplay. A second with the knife. Josh is nano to Super finds a third. Blur is just out of mech. Bastion just going absolutely nuclear. Josh and COWZA wrap it up. Team kill. Jinxie died with ult though. It was a chance with the Valk.
Yeah, there definitely was a chance there, but I don't think the Valkyrie might have been the solution to kick it over. Blur did come out trying to attempt to try the Diva to see if that would work. However, at the end of the day, it didn't really get much because it was already so close to the end of the map. I just want to highlight the engagement from Blur and Limeros into the backline at one stage. Really opened up the opportunity for the Lunar Colony to just press W, Super BH just to press W on into the backline of the LGBTQ times, and really, really struck so hard, put them into a really good position just before overtime kicked in. But yeah, now we're going to see the flip around, and I wonder if Super BH is going to just stay on the brawl heroes here, the rush heroes. No, he looks like he wants to play Winston. He's going to play Winston.
We'll see. We'll see. We will see. We see a Vertigo. I've noticed something very interesting. A Doomfist?
Oh dear lord.
That's not what I was interested. That wasn't what I was gonna say, but I saw the switch. I got a comment on the fist. You know. I will say though, Hog. We don't know what Super wants to do with his life, so we'll see what ends up happening. I've noticed the supports from Lunar Colony have flip flopped. Right, we've seen Vertigo, COWZA swap roles here. I don't know if it's a comfort thing out of what COWZA can play, so they want to play Brig, they can't play Brig, so we swap it over to Vertigo. We'll stick with Monkey, it looks like, but it's same thing out of here from LGBTQ times. It's interesting. They're gonna escort the payload. We need a better hold here. That's basically what it comes down to. If you want to win this map on your map pick and not go down 2-1, this is a pivotal map 3 here. We'll see how it goes. Absolutely. I've seen crazier holds on Jibby.
Indeed, yeah, we're going to see Super BH already taking the engagement while Blur engages onto the back line of the Lunar Colony and Joyous here with the Winston peeling back, trying to just sustain this a little bit, stopping the card from pushing. The LGBTQ times do have a lot more spam here compared to the Lunar Colonies, however, the LGBTQ times already on the back foot here.
Yeah, but not really too bad. So like Lime got in. It was looking like a pick. It looks like LGBTQ times actually will turn it around. KOWZA does find Lime out of all that, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. KOWZA sitting on the point is gonna get taken out. Does not land this sleep dart. Blur plays the bubble beautifully there. Gets taken out. It's the Sombra, I think, that's causing mayhem. Josh is playing a phenomenal job on the Sombra, doing just God's work, making everyone's life so hard here. And we'll see if it continues to go off like that. But the payload is nearing where they want it to be, but this is really good kill zones if you are on the side of LGBTQ times, right? Because you have the high grounds there to help them land right on top and get these picks, especially when you have Risen on the Ashe. Indeed,
and we also have the Limeros Echo here pulling out again, which gives them so much spam down this tunnel. Especially with the ultimate coming online here, we're probably going to see a dupe onto the Reaper or onto the Winston here as they nearing the mark. Here comes the Winston.
Here
double
comes
Winston
the
time.
copy. Double Winstons. Blur is taking a lot. P5 is taking a lot of damage, but Jinxie's just doing a lot to sustain. KOWZA goes down. Big Tuna goes down. We're seeing a Winston ult go off. Just battle of the monkeys here. It's looking like Planet of the Apes all over again.
That was a very good ultimate from Lamaros there, just trying to hold the line a little bit longer. But however, there's an EMP. There's an EMP that's about to come on, and we know how much an EMP can change the fight. If he doesn't get spotted out, George doesn't say
it's huge. Oh, it's out. It was so good. But there's 4 ults, right? They have 4 ults. If you're LGBTQ times, I think you have the ability to survive here, right? You have to play really smart because how spread out they are, you're not getting 5 people with this EMP now. It's not happening. They're gonna net a big sleep dart. No, the pushback by Risen wakes him. Super. The card is moving. They're 4 meters, 3 meters. Are they gonna touch? They're gonna go in and touch too. Both Annas are down. Rally is alive. Vertigo is looking to sustain. Jinxie's gonna look for Res, but doesn't get it. Big Tuna finds both see. Oh, the supports are down. Vertigo gets one. Die on card trying to melt Bob. Bob is doing everything he can to survive. It's not enough. It's not looking like they're gonna touch. And just so low. The EMP caused it to him. It wasn't going to be much there because EMP comes out. They're going to lose anyway. I mean, they had a chance there, right? I think LGBTQ guys played that right. Just a little awkward at the end there. Super once again, just asserting dominance. It's just once again doing the thing.
Disgusting. He just waltzed onto the team there like nothing.
Yeah, immediately. The big thing is finding the Ana pick right away, right? Every single time Super got in, found the Ana and just got the Ana, right? So that would make it really, really difficult for anyone to have any survivability because you're not having a sleep dart, you don't have anti-nade. Nothing really helps there.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. Just to look back at that last fight, you know, there were so many ultimates online, but what it really came down to was the small things like that EMP at the end that caused the payload to push over, the Bob that was just holding down that line a little bit longer, looking for that light at the end of the tunnel. However, I think maybe if the ultimates had been used in different sequences, we might have seen a very different outcome. But I think all in all, this is a very good halfway point for the map. As we head into Esperanza next, however you say that, I always call it Esperanza. My friends make fun of me because of it. I mean, we might as well just go the full Afrikaans route, just call it Esperanza. You've learned something new today.
If I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Esperanza because like Spain, España. So I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to be, but I could be wrong. So I think
I wouldn't know.
As a dater of a primary Spanish speaker, I've tried to pick up some things here and there. So
I'll let you decide what it's called. Then
I believe that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. I believe, but you know, I've been wrong in the past, so it's okay. I think I noticed something. The biggest thing that could have actually changed that fight around was that sleep onto the Sombra. I saw the playback on it just now on the stream, and I kid you not, 9 HP. Literally, if people were like a second sooner, I think that's a death, right? Because you could throw the sticky bombs next to them, throw right when it's about to pop off. You could throw the nade down. That's a kill. They're done. Nothing they can do. So it's all about timing there, and that's what came down to it, and that's why I think that's why they won the fight. They didn't have to take another 30 seconds to set up.
Yes, we are going into Esperanza here
Esperanza is what they said. Esperanza. That's what they said in the game. So
what Lady Athena, I think, said. And we are this is a very popular push map in the ZA scene. I don't think anybody likes Colosseo, the map from Rome, and the New Queen Street, the Canadian map, the Toronto map, but no one really likes them. So Esperanza is kind of like our default these days. And it's a very popular rush map as well.
Yes.
Very, very popular for the likes of Junker Queen. However, it's also very well known for having those Orisa comps coming back in to try and just hold down that fort, deny the Junker Queen a little bit. We've also seen Hog in the past during Hog meta. Thank God that's
Yep.
gone, because that
Very
was an
quickly.
awful time. But there's always the potential that we're going to see dive coming out here from the not the Lunar Colony, sorry, the LGBTQ times, depending on
Oh, it's
Blur.
from Portugal? I learned something new today.
Is this Portugal? Oh,
I learned something new today.
That's new. That is
Learned
new.
something
Thanks, chat. Looking at the team
Portuguese,
comps here-
Spanish, very similar languages. It's okay.
They are quite
very
similar.
I was close.
Looking
I
at the
was
team comps here, we're going to be seeing two very distinct rush comps here. One from Blur coming out, like the same comp earlier with the Reinhardt, Reaper, and Echo. The other side is going to be the Junker Queen comp with a Sombra and a Bastion. The ultimates on the side of the LGBTQ times is a lot more potent than on the side of the Lunar Colonies, but the Lunar Colonies have got a lot more. They've got EMP, but they also have a lot more valuable neutral game utility. So let's see how they take this fight as we see Super BH getting ready to walk in here.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Line played so well in the copy. The hack is off. Oh, Blur is so low. Blur is put back into a corner already. It's going to take a lot of healing from it, though. So, maybe not enough. Between the bleed and the hack, it just wasn't enough to help. The Sombra is just such a menace to society. But Lime does find Big Tuna, so they get a little bit of a trade out here on character. So it's a 4v4. And when you have a Reaper, I don't count on anything. But Reaper is hacked. Risen is already hacked out on the fight. Risen's going to get pulled back into the team, but does fade out.
Oh my.
Thankfully, no one has pushed the bot yet. It's not looking very good. But Risen has slept Vertigo with the sleep dart. Gonna find Risen now on super big sleep dart. They're looking at the back line for him. But Blur's back. Blur's already back in the fight. Finds COWZA. But so it's not over yet. Lime's going to find Vertigo. The pin.
What?
They already
That's
have
fast.
copy. Junker Queen is there with the copy. They're looking for just to clean this fight out. Lime is hacked out of that. Big Tuna's gonna go down. What copy was online so fast?
That
We're not
was
even a minute and a
extremely
half in.
fast copy. I do want to point out that the entire time during that, the bot wasn't pushing. I believe his name is Tall Walking Omnic, for those of you who didn't know. But we're looking at the Rampage as well as the EMP coming online here for the Lunar Colonies, potentially turning this fight on its head. The beat from P5001 could completely counteract that, but we have to see how they use this engagement. I want to point out how well Blur came back into the fight afterwards. Here we go. We're starting with Rampage.
Reckoning goes in, beat comes out, but EMP follows up, so they're just gonna lose everybody. Live goes down, Blur goes down. It was just a big setup. I saw it coming a mile away. Unfortunately, we have the good caster version of seeing people being invisible, but it saw it from a mile away. Once that Junker Queen hit 3, you knew EMP was coming off to take their lives. Jinxie's gonna get staggered out by Super though, and that's not good for them. 30 meters though isn't bad, but building up those 2 ults is huge.
Absolutely agreed. I don't want to just question whether EMP and Rampage should be used together, considering they kind of fulfill a similar role. Remember, EMP doesn't get rid of the shield from Beat anymore, so they probably could have staggered those 2 ultimates a little bit and gotten a little bit more value out of it. Imagine if they had EMP going into this next fight, for example. But we do have the Nano, and I can definitely foresee a Nano Super BH here going in.
Yep, and a big shot on high ground finds Tuna, but he's gonna instantly get picked back up. Josh is gonna find P5 and all that. Jinxie goes down to Super. Super's just looking insane. The different angles that this team is taking on Lunar Colony has been the difference maker, right? 2 different angles every time. Super on one side, Big Tuna melting on the other side. You can't catch a break if you are LGBTQ times.
Indeed, we kind of saw the Lunar Colonies there just squash the LGBTQ terms like some orange juice with the Nano coming in from there behind. Even though Blur nailed off that shatter, it wasn't enough to sustain them on the high ground, potentially risking himself and making himself vulnerable. We do see a pause here coming out from the side of the LGBTQ times. We don't know exactly what it is yet, but while we're just getting ready to go back in, we do see Risen with the Blossom coming online. We know how potent these Blossoms have been this game so far, and how fight-toning they can be. Tuna coming online with the Configuration Artillery, I believe its full name is called. Not the strongest of ultimates, but it definitely has some area denial capabilities. Super PH coming online again with another Rampage. It's such a fast charging ultimate. I cannot believe it.
Well, it's fast charging, but also got nanoed and got a lot of damage off, so it helped build that even further. So it is pretty quick.
Indeed, yeah. So we can definitely see that coming into the next fight. But I think that the LGBTQ times have definitely got the one-up position here if Super BH doesn't get his Rampage mid next fight.
Yeah, I think the hardest part here, if you are on the side of LGBTQ times trying to, come out and try to still win this game. I mean, you're down. They might get the cap for close spawn here. It's going to be really close. I think what you really need to rely on is your mechanics here. I think you're straying a little bit away from what you want to do. We're trying to take away the high ground there, but I think we need to really look at what the queen wants to do, because you saw they didn't have people next to them. It was just vertigo, and I think that's not mobility, right? So you have the ability to still make some plays. We're gonna jump back in. We'll see how it goes out, but you really need to get a hold of this Sombra too. So I think their mechanics can be I think that's what's gonna make it the difference, right? Stick with your game plan. You won map 1 playing these comps. You know what to do. Let's see how you win it there. And we're gonna get back into the neutral here.
LGBTQ times manages to stop them at the butt scratches, like we like to call it. So they bring a halt right to that. Blur now coming in with the engagement. Limeroth looking for some stickies over the top. Blossom coming in. The anti-nade, however, onto the LGBTQ times. No, doesn't cut enough. Risen does get the super BH here, giving the advantage over to the Lunar Colony enjoyers. But Tuna and Josh are coming out here with the crackback on the ultimate, just making it for insane times. Tuna really mowing them down like a patch of lawn.
What a swap of roles there on us as the casters. Look at that versatility we have here. And it's just insane because now they're going to have Junker Queen ult online. They're going to have EMP online. And this is where this types of map can snowball.
Absolutely. The EMP here looking very deadly with the Rampage again. I wonder if they're going to use it together like they did last time, or if they're going to opt to use it a bit more separately. However, the Coalescence and the Echo duplication coming here online are already
out.
gone.
It's quickly gone, but P5's gone. Blur's looking in. They're going to Rampage. It's over. They have no need to use EMP here. Lime's going to go down. Risen's going to go down. There was no need to EMP because they were already won the fight. I don't even think they really needed Rampage, if you want my honest opinion. So we're going to see some things here. Jinxie staggered. Lime switching over.
That's an unfortunate stagger here, but Joshua with the EMP really nailing the ability to now just keep this bot pushing forward here on the next engagement. We do see Lamarissa switch onto the Hanzo here, providing a little bit more spam onto this comp.
Risen's also on Cassidy.
That is true. It's going to do a lot of work against this Bastion here, but Blur just
the
cannot
EMP.
sustain.
No, Blur's down. They might not even need the EMP. Well, Super goes down. Hold on. That's huge for them. That's a big pick. They don't have res for that, right? So that's good. Risen does find Vertigo. Hold on. Some clutch plays coming out from Lunar. From the side of LGBTQ times. Risen gets another one. Hacked out of the ult, unfortunately, but Cole does get enough to save. COWZA is alive. Giz trying to get out. Will not find the TP. Does find the TP. It was close, though. But they're going to have 4 ults coming back.
Indeed, as we see the LGBTQ times finally getting the payload pushing once again. Or nope, they're just going to leave it.
They're not going to.
We're fighting up here instead.
We're fighting here. Didn't expect this. Big Shatter stops the artillery, but it still gets one off. Hits Blur. Risen gets taken out by Super. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Shad BH just asserting dominance this map. They're actually, Lucio is going to move over to the bot, try to get some extra push off to try to help the team as much as humanly possible here. Super's going to find Lime there, and P5 is going to go down. Jinxie still gets out, but they're going to be another big fight here as we have 3 ults, potentially 4 online for Lunar Colony. We're going to see 3 on the line for the other side too, but it's close. Super's going to get nailed and immediately take out Cassidy. Hanzo Dragons comes out, helps mitigate a little bit of that push there from them. EMP comes out, and I think that's a wrap time. Reckons it up. That's just a team kill. Jinxie's the only one left standing. Won't be able to get anything off. Is going to go down. High Noon's going to try to come off. Doesn't hit anything, and that's a wrap. We're gonna see Lunar Colony take the map and the game.
Do they take the game here? Did I write it
down?
They do. Yeah, sorry. I think I wrote it down wrong in my notes. That is it indeed. I just want to point out. I think they might have made a small error in how LGBTQ times went to engage, taking them inside of the narrow choke line into something like a Bastion. I think really was the nail in the coffin there for the team. But all in all, this was a great play, especially from Tuna there. Absolutely mowing them down as we saw live on the camera earlier. But that was quite an insane final map. Although LGBTQ times didn't really get the push that they really wanted to, like they did at the very beginning of the game, they only got to push the 30 meters. It was really a domination from Lunar Colonies there at the end of the day.
Yeah, the big thing at the end of the day was LGBTQ times on that last fight, right, where they took it into that middle area, that very small room. I actually don't mind them doing that fight because they want a quick engage, and I think it worked really well for them, or would have worked really well for them if artillery didn't get that one bolt off. It got one mortar pop off before being shattered. So the shadow was perfect. Hit 2 people, hit the right people, canceled ults, but still was taken out because the damage was already there and you got hit by the ult right at the end there. So it was really rough. Just ending it off there really sucks to see, but it was a great game otherwise. I mean, there just was no answer for just the Sombra Bastion combo was just phenomenal from Big Tuna and Josh. It was hard to stop.
Scary as hell, I will admit that. But that does bring a wrap to the end of this game. So, Davian, I think it's a very important question that we ask. Who is your MVP out of this game?
This was tough, right? So everyone in chat is probably thinking it. Everyone else wants to think it. They're probably like, dude, super. I mean, he did. What else do you want from him? They did everything just they needed to do to win the game. I unfortunately, as much as I love my tank players, and I know you popped off, I think a lot of your aggressiveness and the ability to do what you want to do came out of the side of Vertigo. I think Vertigo would be my player of the match today. The sleep darts were on point. The switching over to Brig just helped out a ton for their push at the end there to win on Jibby, and it was just insane. So I'm gonna give it to Vertigo. Obviously, super out of your mind. Nonsense. Your queen, nasty, menace to society. But Vertigo was right there, and I have to give it to Vertigo. Gotta show the support some love too.
Of course, and I absolutely agree with you there. I said at the beginning of the broadcast that Vertigo really was like the glue kind of holding that team together. We saw Super BH going on a couple of adventures every now and then, being very aggressive, but Vertigo always on point there to help keep him alive, whether it be through the utility of dealing damage through Discord Orb or landing the insane sleep darts that keep themselves alive so that Super BH can just run them down in the front. The front line, that's the word I'm looking for. The front line.
There you go.
So yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. I would have voted Vertigo any day of my life in this game. And yeah, I think honestly we saw a really good game on our hands here. So do you have any other comments you want to make about the game today?
I mean, listen, first time I saw Lunar Colony Enjoyers, I believe they lost 3-1 to 3 Men 2 Socks. So it felt like it was a vast improvement walking into this game. It was insanely good game, and I've seen different teams actually make very high advances. They're getting like at the beginning of the tournament, you get random people to play with, right? You never really play with these people. You have no clue what they're going to do. You don't know what they're about. So you need to figure out comps that make sense. And I think they found theirs. And it could be something that turns this tournament around for them and actually gets them into potentially grand finals. We'll see how it plays out. It was insane good plays from both sides. The support line was so good. I think it made the difference over there for Lunar Colony.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. But that is going to do it for today. So unfortunately, we're not going to have a stream later at 6 o'clock like we were hoping we were going to have.
Sad.
You can say thank you to Loadstream for that one. That would have been the upper bracket finals, which would have been, in this case, I'm just getting my schedule out in front of me. It would have been the Lunar Colony Enjoyers versus, you can remind me, the 3
Men 2 Socks.
That is going to be the game happening in the next slot that we're not going to get to see. So cast your votes who you want to win that game, because that is going to be a very scary game that we unfortunately don't get to watch. But we are going to be bringing you more action tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Sun Phoenix and Defect taking you again like they did in the previous session. We're going to be watching the lower bracket semi-finals, which are 2 teams that I don't know. There are 4 teams in the semi-finals, obviously, because that's why it's called a semi-finals. And I haven't decided which one we're watching yet. So maybe you guys can voice your opinion over in the COWZA Discord, ! Discord in the chat. Go let us know which teams you want to watch in the lower bracket semi-finals. Other than that, Davian, where can we find you online?
Yes. Anywhere you think of. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. I go by Davion_OW. I think certain places you'll drop the underscore, but most places you'll find me at Davion_OW. So that's just how you find me. I'm just here. I just like to do my thing and hang out. So if you ever want to watch me make a fool of myself on stream, I play a lot of Pokemon. I play Overwatch on the regular. So we'll see how that works out for me.
I would hope you play Overwatch.
Right. I know enough about it.
Thank you very much for joining us, David. I've been the Peach of the Day, or just Peach. You can find me on social media at the Peach of the Day on everywhere except for Twitch. Twitch, you'll find me at OBS Peach at the moment. In a couple months' time, that will change back to the Peach of the Day as well, because I made a stupid mistake there. So we're just going to ignore that and move on. Our producer and observer for today's cast has been Terran Lord of Terrans. You find one of those two on, I think it's Terran Lord on Twitter. He has done an amazing job bringing you guys the stream that you guys can see. So
Phenomenal.
thank you very much to Taryn. Absolutely amazing
Phenomenal
work.
job from Taryn.
And I mean,
I've gassed
for-
Taryn
I-
up on Twitter a lot.
I haven't been the one running the show. I've just been coordinating the stuff. So it's really, really nice for me to see that we're seeing this talent being picked up once again in the Overwatch community here in South Africa. It really brings a warmth to my heart. But if you want to find out more about the Overwatch community here in South Africa, ! Discord in the chat, ! Twitter, twitter.com/ZA Overwatch, or you can find the stream what you're watching here, twitch.tv/ZA Overwatch. If you want to watch any past VODs, or maybe you can't watch it on Twitch, you can go to youtube.com/@OverwatchZA, to find any of our past games there. You can go all the way back to, I think, like 2019, 2018. So you want to take a trip down memory lane? That is the place to go. Otherwise, like I said, I've been the Peach today, and we wish you a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. sharp. Good night, everybody.
I won't be there, but I'm excited for it.